Welcome. Today we are going to take specific steps for teaching and learning of Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras. The Vedic Mathematics Gurukul is today taking the initial step, the first step, the initiation step of teaching and learning of Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras. Vedic mathematics is an ancient discipline. This ancient wisdom has been dormant for some centuries. Now, today, as we are visiting this ancient wisdom, as such, we desire that we shall have our initiation from the very beginning. Initiation from the very beginning would mean, in the context of Ganita Sutras mathematics, as the mathematical domain of its very first letter. Today, our initiation is to be with respect to the first letter, and as the text of Ganita Sutras is in Devanagari Varnamala, as Devanagari Varnamala is being availed for the composition of the text of Ganita Sutras. As such, today, while we are initiating in terms of the first letter of the first sutra of the Ganita Sutras text, we are presuming that we are having prior knowledge of Devanagari Varnamala, at least the script recognition and the placements of the individual letters in Devanagari Varnamala is expected and is being presumed as a prior knowledge, in the background of which we are initiating the formal reach within the Vedic mathematical domain. Devanagari Varnamala itself is a word composition which leads us to value 77. This value 77 is said to be the transcendental code value of the formulation Devanagari Varnamala. This value 77 is the summation value of the individual placement values, TC values, of the individual letters of formulation Devanagari Varnamala. This is being reminded as the placement values of the individual letters, as Divya Ank Vyavastha, transcendental code value, is the basic foundational presumptive format with which the sadhakas getting initiation for the Vedic mathematics are having immediate acquaintance. The sadhakas intimate acquaintance with the script of the Devanagari alphabetic letters and their placement values within the Devanagari Varnamala is a presumptive information knowledge of the sadhakas. It is only in this background that today we are trying to have a formal initiation into Vedic mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras. And this initiation as such, in fact, is going to be initiation of a reach of the Vedic mathematical domain as it stands organized in terms of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras. The text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras has its specific organization, and it is this sequential organization of the text of Ganita Sutras which is going to be followed by having a first principle of acceptance is that the text of Ganita Sutras is composed in a specific sequential format, and this sequential format as well is inherently inbuilt into the mathematical domain of the Ganita Sutras. Therefore, as we will be proceeding with the Vedic mathematics values, we also simultaneously will be having a reach at the organization of the text of Ganita Sutras as Vedic mathematical domain organization. The knowledge of the scripture and organization of the knowledge of the scripture run parallel with each other. It is this feature of the Vedic systems that knowledge and organization of knowledge to run parallel with each other is the first principle in terms of which any knowledge domain, including Vedic mathematics knowledge domain, are to be approached. Every system is to be approached the system way. As such, Vedic mathematical domain, Vedic mathematics systems is also expected to be approached the Vedic mathematics way. The Vedic mathematics way is the way the text of Ganita Sutra stands composed, and this composition takes sixth vowel as its first letter. Therefore, the initiation for the Vedic mathematical domain naturally is to be in the light of the values, features, format, and other aspects of the first letter of the text of Ganita Sutras. Therefore, let us have a clear impact that today, when we are initiating for the reach within the Vedic mathematical domain, then we are approaching the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras as a Vedic scripture. The Vedic scriptures can be approached the Vedic scriptures way. The Vedic scriptures are the knowledge reservoirs as well as the foundational knowledge organization formats. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics scripture, the text of Ganita Sutras as well is to be approached, permits approach to it in terms of its mathematical domain as a knowledge domain and its organization as a parallel organization and the structural inroads within this mathematical domain to be designated as mathematical processes. Vedic mathematical processes as well as the Vedic mathematical domain are to simultaneously unfold, and this unfolding process of the Vedic mathematical domain and Vedic mathematical processes are to have initiation in terms of the very first letter of the text. The first letter of the text is the sixth vowel. Therefore, today our focus is to remain as that the first letter is the sixth vowel. First letter is the basic key, basic structural key of the Vedic mathematical domain. The entire Vedic mathematical domain and whole range of Vedic mathematics processes are to be unlocked in terms of the first letter. The first letter is the sixth vowel. It has sixth placement in the row of the vowels. Being of a sixth placement, as such, value 6 stands attached. As such, the moment we are approaching Vedic mathematical domain in terms of the first letter, then we can take that it provides us a first structural reach in terms of a value 6, a reach from sixth vowel to value 6 is a success reach in terms of which we shall be understanding as that the value 6 is going to be the structural key of numbers, values, mathematical domains. Number value 6 as a first perfect number value 6 as being of sixth placement system will inherently provide us as to the Vedic mathematical domain, Vedic arithmetic, the Vedic artifices of numbers are going to initiate unfolding in terms of value 6. Then the Vedic systems are having established processing processes as Yoganistha and Sankhyanistha. Sankhyanistha and Yoganistha not only run parallel to each other but also complement and supplement each other. This way, from value 6, its artifices will take us to the dimensional frame of a sixth space. Therefore, this structural initiation in terms of the sixth vowel, while at a first step is taking us to value 6, number value 6, then the same parallelly and immediately at the next step is taking us to a sixth space. Therefore, from the arithmetic to the geometry is going to be inherent unfolding, and sixth space as such will take us to sixth space content, and therefore all the sciences and technologies will follow parallel to the format, features, values, and other aspects of the content. Sixth space content as such becomes our explorative domain. It becomes the chase. Our research is to be in respect of the format, features, and values of the content of a sixth space. Now, this content will manifest. It will manifest hypercube 6. Therefore, the concrete manifested geometric entity hypercube 6 is going to be the geometric entity which is to lead us to the inherent and other format, features, and values of existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Therefore, it will inherently take us to Surya, the sun. Sun, Surya, is the sixth element. It is step ahead of Panch Mahabhut. It is the sixth element. Therefore, six space format, six space content will bring us face to face with Surya as a six space body. It is this reach of this initiation which will bring before us the whole domain of solar universe, including the sun itself. And moment we will be having this existence domain, then it will bring us blissfully to the Purusha, the human format. So the existence of phenomenon within the human frame and of the sun domain will come to be our explorative domains, our mathematical domains. And moment we will be having this parallel phenomenon of the solar universe, existence phenomenon of solar universe, including the existence phenomenon of human frame, then it will take us to the blissful, creative, self-referral Lord of this existence phenomenon, Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it is this self-referral format which will naturally bring us face to face with the sixth degree equations, a mathematical domain, a mathematical domain which will permit its complete, exhaustive, calculative, algebraic, geometric format as of a six-space domain as artifices of number value 6 and as a sixth degree equation. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with the mathematical processes of the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras shall sit comfortably and be face to face with the structural keys provided by the first letter of the text. Now, this bliss, this glimpse, this insight, this enlightenment is going to unfold sequentially. Therefore, while the innocent mind, the young mind, is going to be exposed formally for the Vedic mathematical domain as mainstream discipline of instructions, then naturally we have to be parallel with not only the mathematical domain but also the organization format of the mathematical domain as well. And this being so, we have to be strictly parallel with the organization format of the text of Ganita Sutras. And once we will be having this parallel chase steps, then the origin, the unity state origin of six space, the origin of the sun, the origin of our solar universe is going to be the format, features, and values of a pole star. So, this reach in terms of this initiation is going to be an inward and outward, having parallel inward and outward chase, and this parallel inward and outward chase will take us to the seventh space as origin of the sixth space as a domain. One more than before, a working rule that we have to initiate with six space as a domain, with sun as a six space body, with existence phenomenon of our within human frame, and then we have to have a reach, and it is this going to be the attainment of being through the discipline of instructions of Vedic mathematics that we will be glimpsing the seventh space in the role of origin of a sixth space. We will be having the bliss of seven states of consciousness for the existence phenomenon of Shad Chakras format. Therefore, with this background, we will be updating our knowledge of the first letter from the informal stage of preschooling to the formal stage of a primary and then middle, higher secondary, graduation, post-graduation, and even the post-graduation research is to always begin with the domain of the first letter. Now let us see how this will unfold, how this chase is to be, and see this chase is going to be in terms of Shri Om. All Vedic systems, entire Vedic knowledge is having initiation as well as the ultimate culmination in terms of the pair of formulation Shri Om. Let us visit the formulation Shri. See, it is a composition of four letters. This formulation is availing quadruple letters Sha, Ra, E, and Visarja. Now see, these four letters are leading us to the quadruple values 2, 1, 4, and 13 as their TC values of summation value 20. See, the value 20 is parallel with the TC value 20 of the formulation Ved. Therefore, the entire weight, the entire Vedic mathematical domain is going to be a reach of initiation of this formulation. The other formulation Om is a composition of a pair of letters. First is elongated U, the third vowel of value 6, and the second is the Anuswara. This is going to be of value 10, makes total value 16. Now see, Shri O leads us to values pair 20 and 16. See the organization. 4 into 5, 20, 4 into 4 is equal to 16. Now see, it is one more than before. Therefore, we have to be conscious, we have to be blissful, we have to be appreciative while we will be applying the mathematical rule of Ganita Sutra 1, one more than before. The orientation, one more than before. See, the Ganita Sutra 1 is a scripture, complete scripture. It is a composition of pair of formulations. And the first formulation, Eka Adhikain, begins with the sixth vowel of value 6. And the second letter, Purve, begins with the first letter of the fifth row of the Varga consonants Pa of PC value 5. See, one more than before. This Ganit rule and the composition of Ganita Sutra 1 is going to make it a source sutra. Therefore, we have to be very conscious, we have to be very respectful, we have to approach this text faithfully as it is so composed, it is so potentialized, it is so resourceful, it is so rich that entire mathematical domain and whole range of mathematical processes are to follow out of it. See a step ahead. When we are having a reach from Om to its synonym Paranava, Paranava Sarvideshu, this formulation Om is of TC value 16 and the formulation Paranava is of TC value 36. See, we are having 16 Ganita Sutras and 13 Ganita Upsutras. See, the entire text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras is availing in all 36 letters. So, when we say Paranava Sarvedeshu, and when we say that the total letters availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are 36, then here we can be blissfully, faithfully of the reach as that when we will be faithfully following the organization of the text of Ganita Sutras And when we shall be imbibing the processing steps and values of Ganita Sutras, then we will be face to face with Vedic mathematical domain being of the order of our solar universe. The entire solar universe domain is mathematically approachable in terms of the mathematical processes of the Ganita Sutras, Ruk Sutras. As we know that O, the soul syllable, is a Bindu Srovar, Ardhamatra, Tripundram, and Swastik Pada. When the Bindu Srovar is a placement at orb of the sun, a six-space domain, there will be flow of Divya Ganga, and it will be fulfilling our space, transcendental domain, Param Vijom, enveloped within the creative boundary of 10 components. And it is here where the flow of the light, the Jyoti, is going to be formated. Then the Paranama we see will take us to not only the first three, radiation, then reflection, and then these three, conduction, convection, radiation. No, the fourth step is also connected particles, swapping a space by connected spares. A pair of spheres, well connected bodies will be the format of the chase, and this is going to be a liquefied form. So the solids liquefied, first element earth to apa is going to be the formatting transition, and so the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with the Vedic mathematical domain shall approach these formulations the way these unfold. Vedic mathematics helps unfold these formulations, and these formulations help compose the Vedic mathematical domain. Then, a step ahead, we know that the Om, the Manduka Upanishad, is giving us enlightenment as that this formulation, in fact, is a formatted quadruple steps of first letter O, second letter O, third letter Ma, and then the their composition Om. See, these lead us to TC values 13979. Total summation value is 29. And we know 29 is the TC value of a Brahma, the presiding deity of the creators of space. Creator, the Supreme Lord Brahma, the presiding deity of the creators of space, as of value 29, is parallel with the total text of 16 as sutras and 13 as Ganita Sutras. So from here we can have a blissful initiation in terms of the first letter, and we shall be sequentially reaching at the second letter Ka Brahma. So a reach from the first letter A to second letter Ka is a reach from a Vishnu to a Brahma, and this reach is having a transcendental bridging of the gap, and the transcendental Lord intervening to provide transcendental bridging for the gaps. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge shall sit comfortably and to approach Vedic mathematical domain, the Vedic mathematics way. From tomorrow, we shall be continuing by taking a thread ahead. So, these sadhakas shall visit the text and recite it faithfully, and with a few recitations to have a complete text in their memory. Once the text will be in the memory, then naturally the inherent sequential organization format as well will be settled within the intelligence field of the sadhakas, and it is in this state that we will be having a natural reach of the order of the mathematical domain itself. Thank you very much.